Hello. We did that last time too. Hi, we are getting ready to go live with our Ask a Builder workshop here at Redaway Realty in Puerto Morelos. We're going to wait a few minutes so people can hop on, and then we'll do our introductions. But meanwhile, cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers to everybody at home. There's like a little bit of lag time before people get on the video. Hi, Lori. She's already built. She should be teaching us.
Maybe she can answer
Maybe she can answer some questions. Lori, we're going to need you to answer some questions about construction.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta move to check it out. So, okay. Well,
You don't want, well.
Yeah.
This is my first time doing this, so where can we see how many people it's here? Can you see them?
Just there. One.
Oh, perfect.
There's one. It's Lori.
Two.
Oh, no, there's two. Oh, it's probably Gabrielle.
Yeah.
Okay. We can answer Gabriel's questions.
Yeah. So we usually just wait a couple minutes because there's a little lag time, and then we'll get started.
Sure, no problem.
Lori, are you in Puerto Morelos or Canada? I wonder if she can hear me. There's Carlos. Hi, Carlos. Janine. Gabriel.
But maybe one of you guys can tell us if you can hear us well. I know Gabriel
She's in Canada.
Can hear us, but maybe somebody else who can confirm that.
Yeah, is the volume okay for you guys? There's Megan saying hi, John.
Megan, hi. Nice to see you here. Thank you for joining.
Can you guys hear us okay? Anyone?
Just coming. So they are 5 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Audio's good.
Audio's good. Okay. Hi, Dave. I'm so glad you could join us. Dave and his wife bought him from China.
Oh, nice. Now we have some people in here making me nervous.
Yeah, now we're getting nervous. Well, should we go ahead and get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're a couple minutes in, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kim Temple with Redaway Realty, and today we are doing our very first Ask a Builder Facebook Live event with our friend Jonathan.
Thank you.
Who is with Build-In Team here in Puerto Morelos. We wanted to work with Jonathan on this because he's a super nice guy and builds amazing homes. And we thought he'd be the perfect person to kind of walk us through this process and learn. We also have Gabrielle over on, he's the technical director. And he is the bartender, just like last time. He did carajillos this time. If you haven't had a carajillo, you need to try it. If you haven't, please go onto our Facebook page and or in the event. And we posted this document today, which is kind of the outline of what Jonathan's going to talk about. What we think we'll do is just kind of go through the outline.
Yeah.
And we will keep track of your questions, and he will answer them at the end unless there's something really pressing that we need to clarify while we're talking.
Of course.
Kind of the impetus for this Ask a Builder workshop is that there's a ton of interest in building in Puerto Morelos. And people ask me a lot of questions that I can't answer. In particular, people come to our Moving to Mexico Monday program, and they're always like, well, do you even have zoning laws in Puerto Morelos? And are there building, laws, and who's in charge? And I mean, of course there are zoning laws and building laws, but I don't know how it works. So you need to help us with the basics from the ground up. So with that, I'll turn it over to you to maybe introduce your company.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I'm just keep asking this. Are we sure they are listening to us? I don't want to be.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Perfect. Alrighty. So nice to meet you guys. Thank you very much, first of all, to Kim and Gabriel for inviting me. This is as well my very first time on TV. So I could be a little bit nervous, but I am happy to join you guys. Of course, I have been in your place before. I started building 15 years ago with one of my best friends, and I used to have all of these questions. So I think now I feel comfortable talking about them. We have been building since then, 15 years. We started up in Querétaro, which is northern Mexico City. And we moved here 6 years now, 6 years ago, and have been building for those 6 years. We brought the building thing from Querétaro to Cancun, or to Puerto Morelos specifically. So we have been building here for 6 years. It's 11 houses, 5 remodeling projects going on, and we have 4 more coming this year, hopefully. Actually, one of our customers is here listening at this. So she won't let me lie. She knows about
She'll
the
hold
project.
you to the truth, yeah.
That's it. So if you agree with me, what I suggest is we can read out what we post. I suggest everyone to download it. And based on this, what I am thinking to do is to explain mainly the thing of construction process, the building process. And after that, I think we can feel more relaxed and into the, so you can start asking questions. If we see that I am skipping something or something is not super clear, feel free to interrupt and I will answer whatever comes to your minds, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Perfect.
I was just gonna say, I think the important thing here too is to note that this is based on the 200 square meter house.
Exactly.
The example we're gonna go through.
Exactly. I would like to begin saying that I don't like small letters, like I think nobody does. So I set up the notes on top of the page, regular letters, and it says this is an example based on a 200 square meter house, not a square feet. And I decided to speak about it in meters because that's the way you are gonna hear it here in Mexico. And everything on the construction is based on meters. So it's better to start getting used to it if you are considering building here.
Okay,
If you agree with me.
good to know.
Then the second, thank you. Then the second note, it's about a 50% refund of phase 1 and 2 that you are eligible if the building contract is signed with us. I just put this on the note because if you look at the prices when we start talking about the process, they could seem to be a little bit high, but this is the reason why, and I put it here so you have it in mind. As we start talking about it, you will get it clear, better clear every time. Okay? So let's start with number 1. First, you have to purchase the lot. You have to have the lot in order to even start thinking on building. The reason why it's because I don't recommend investing any of your money on something that you don't already legally own. It's like putting money somewhere doesn't belong to you. So that's my recommendation. The law tells you can build without having the title, the title of your lot. But to me, it's better to have everything done right since the beginning. So to me, this is a very important thing to have. Purchase the lot, have it under your name, and have the title clear for you. As well, maybe I answer something or I explain something that is my way of thinking, and maybe you hear something different. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, the other part, but I always explain the way I feel and why I do it that way. Okay. So the number 2 is start with a design, customized project based on that specific lot. And this makes sense with the part 1. Maybe you don't have title of your lot. We start working on it. We do design, you put money on it, and suddenly something happens and you end up buying another lot. So it starts making sense. The number 1 now makes sense. We start designing a customized project based on your lot. And my company, we divide it in 3 different phases. There is a reason why. As I read every phase, I will explain why we do it that way. So the first phase is architectural project, which is plans and renders. This is the way how the layout of your house is going to be like, and how the house is going to look like. This is the right way to begin with, because I don't want to start doing anything else like hydraulic plans or sanitary or any other plans if we are changing something else from the house. Some of our customers that now I can see here have been through that, and they understand that we do proposals based on whatever is your need. Whatever you need, you talk about it with us. We do a proposals based on that, and we start shaping that house for you. We start doing little changes, bigger changes, and everything start taking shape for the way you want your house to feel like, to look like. So that's the phase number 1.
So can I ask a quick question? So you don't need to know the mechanics of the lot. I mean, you know the dimensions, but you don't need to know like what the ground is like
Not yet.
when you make the first, okay.
Yeah,
you
not
make the first plans.
Not exactly, not yet, because we don't want to base the feeling and the way your house look because of the soils, but the other way. We want to make your house feels like you want, and then we do research on what's underneath. And based on what we design, we do foundations based on what is underneath.
Okay.
If it makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
So that is the number 1. The price here, it's just for my company, it's 37,000 Mexican pesos. And remember, if you build with us, we refund 50% of that. What I think of it, it's like you're paying for the rights or the, let me remember the word.
To use the plan.
Yeah.
The rights to use the architectural plan.
Exactly, the right to use my design, which makes sense. Then on phase number 2, every phase takes 1 month, and usually 3 revisions. We can go 3 times, sometimes 4 times, 5 times for the last little changes, you know. Then we start with phase 2, which is what we call in Mexico an executive project, and this makes the design we already did for you to comply with every other plan that is needed to have all the permits.
Okay.
Those plans, on the phase 1, we deliver like the plans for the architectural design, and they are going to be complemented by these other plans, which is sanitary, hydraulic, and electrical plans. With all of that, you can come to any builder, to anyone who knows about building, and they could build a house. So all of these plans are all that you need to build a house. That's what you are paying.
So dumb question, is hydraulic?
Plumbing. Okay. Yeah, all of the plumbing, the pluvial, the water coming from the rain.
Oh, water management.
Yeah, water management. And that is 19,000 Mexican pesos, as well takes 1 month to have them all ready for you. Then we go to phase 3, where based on, as we said before, based on what we have designed, and we have all the plans from this, we start working on where that house is going to be built, which is your lot. Now that we know where the main beams are going to be, where the house is going to rest at, etc., we start working on your lot. For that, we do a structural calculation and budget that is done by a professional engineer who certifies what is being built. Mechanic of soils, which is checking what's underneath your lot. We drill big holes into the ground. Is that a question?
No, it's that my sound wasn't off. I apologize.
Okay, we drill big holes into your lot to make sure what's underneath. We don't want to find a cenote, a big cavern, or whatever that could compromise the building. So it all start, if you can see, it all start making sense, start matching everything together. So we do mechanic of soils, structural design and plans, and based on all of that, we come to a catalog, which I call a concepts catalog, and a budget. The concepts catalog, it's everything that is going to be in your house. I will ask you if you need water pressurizer, water softener, what type of lighting you like, etc. Everything that could be included in your house will be in that catalog. And that's the right way to do it, because imagine this. You sign up a contract as a number 1 instead of number 5 that we have here. You sign a contract for whatever amount of money the house is going to be. They build the house and they deliver the house without, what do you want to call it? Showers? Shower heads? I don't know.
Fixtures.
Fixtures, whatever. If you don't have a concepts catalog, what are you going to claim for? That it's yours, that you are paying for. So that's why everything follows this order, and that way it matches at the end when you have a budget based on your specific house.
So it's like an inventory of everything that's gonna go into the property.
Exactly, everything. And
I like the specific thing.
Exactly.
Like here's a picture of the faucet that we're gonna put in.
That's it. That's pretty much it. And what we do is like, we talk to you, we do proposals on what the house has to have, and then we put it in there. If during the process you change your mind, we fix that price or change that price accordingly to what you are changing. So we're not totally subject of what is on the budget. I have to complain with it. I will stick to the budget because it's based on your house, but you can change things around, and the benefit will be from you, not mine. Okay. Should we maybe stop a little bit and see if someone has any?
Are there any questions so far?
questions
Did you have a question?
No, the thing is, let's just guys are
Okay.
to do.
I think we
And
saw-
the way just Dave says, like the building process document is great.
Oh, great. Dave
Nice.
likes the building process. Let me scroll down here. Did you guys have any questions? Let's see. Hi, Shauna. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Keith.
Nice.
All right, no questions so far? I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So in phase 1, it's an architect that designs that, correct?
Yep.
And then in phase 2, the executive project, are those engineers or who designs that?
Okay, this is a very good question. I am myself a pilot, a commercial pilot. When we started doing this, we noticed that a lot of people keeps doing the right thing just because it's easier and faster. And there is where we thought we had an opportunity in the business. Because as a pilot, because my coworker is a pilot too, too much information. Yeah, we are super detailed and we have a super organized, structured way of thinking. So when we decided doing building team, it was like, let's do everything right. It doesn't matter what happens. Let's tell the truth. Let's be honest. Let's do it right the first time, and let's organize everything in the right way. So as we knew we were not architects, though I love design, you can tell.
Yeah.
We hired everyone necessary for the company. So we have architects, engineers, lawyers. So everything that I deliver to you is supervised and signed by the specific person who has to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, every plan that I'll deliver to you, every structural plan, every structural calculation, every foundation, every rebar, every concrete, everything is supervised by the professional on the material.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then.
Did I answer your question? Yes.
Absolutely, yeah. So before you even get to signing the contract with the builder, you've picked out everything that is going to be in the house. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do all that way in advance and then you sign it. Okay.
Yeah, and to me, it's like the honest way of doing it, because all you want to do is to see how the builder works. And by this point, we're at 2.3, and you have been already in touch with the builder for 3 months. You have been going back and forth, changing things, actually paying for something, see how that payment goes, and if you get what you want. So at that point, to the customer, is super comfortable and reliable if he has been through this without any problems, with ease, with happiness, with etc. And that's the way you want to feel when you build your own home. You don't want to feel like someone is robbing you and he doesn't answer or whatever. You know? So that's the way. That's why I think this is the way it should be done.
And one more question.
Mhm.
So when you're at phase 3, is that when, I mean, I know that on many of the lots, especially in the gated communities, I keep hearing that there's like protected trees and plants. Is that when you figure all that out?
Yeah, during the design of the house, I visit the actual lot. I check what's in there, and if there is any tree or something that cannot be cut, actually everything could be cut down.
For price.
But everything has a price. If it is a protected species, you say, it could have a price. So far, we have only found one house with one big tree in the middle that was protected, and I try to make people consider to save it, and we can build around a tree, and we can make a beautiful house with an interior tree. But well, it depends on you. Actually, we have another customer here, maybe Donna. She saved a house, and it pays for it, saving those trees.
Okay, so you figure that out in the design,
Yeah,
actually, because
yeah.
you have to know, okay.
Yeah, since then, I mean, we decided to put it down. We give you an idea of what the local part of the government is going to ask for the putting down of the tree.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Great. So let's go to the number 3. Within the gated residentials, if your lot is within one of these ones, you have to get authorization from whatever I did, from whatever design we did together, in order to from them to authorize you to build that house in there. I base all of my designs and all of my proposals on their regulations. So mostly when we get here, I have read all the book of them, and we will be authorized without too many questions. We go through this, and we won't tell you, you know what, build 6-story house where you can only build 3. We know about this, we read about it, and based on that, we do your design. So a residential authorization, if required. They say they deliver in 1 week. I am telling you they deliver in 2 weeks, and they charge 20 pesos per
That's
square
actually
meter.
pretty fast.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. Actually, as we deliver everything in the right way, all the documents together the right way at the first one, they just check
Makes it
out
go fast.
and they go fast. 20 pesos per square meter, that's why they charge. I put here 4,000 Mexican pesos. So it's something, as well you can see here, I wrote whatever you are going to spend on my behalf and with other parties, like here, the residential authorization.
Okay.
The next one is the number 4, and once we are authorized by the residential, we have to go to the municipal ecologic permits and licensing. That is quite a topic. It takes 3 months. Yeah, it's not fast. We try to make it work faster, and we go as far as we can legally do. And what I do sometimes, because maybe you listen later if you end up building here, that I ask you for papers in order to get the ecological at the beginning of the process. Sometimes if we have everything together, all the documentation, an idea of what we are doing, the lot under your name, etc., I can go ahead and start doing the ecological permits at the beginning, because it takes so long, 3 months, that I take advantage of the time, start with the ecological permits, even though they will be even slower, we are taking advantage of time.
Okay.
And then when we reach the number 4, we throw the papers for the licensing. And what I try to do there is to match from number 1, which is having the, well, number 2, designing, to where we get the licensing and the ecological permits at the same time. So I save maybe 1 month and a half, if I will.
Yeah. A month delay that you would otherwise have because you were waiting, okay.
Exactly. It's just a way of managing the process, but it doesn't apply to every case. It depends on a lot of things that,
Right.
But I'll consider and I'll give advice on, and the final decision is the customer's decision. So.
And so you handle for your clients, you handle applying for all the permits that have to be obtained?
Yeah, you can see here 43,000 Mexican pesos. That is what the licensing and the what you are going to pay to the government. That is for the 200 square meters.
200 square meters.
And it's an average. Could be a little bit less, a little bit more, but that's 43,000 Mexican pesos. In our team, we have a lawyer that takes care of doing every permit. So we deliver all the papers to him, he signs for us that he received, and he gives us back the permits.
Oh.
So we don't have to deal with any of going to the municipio because it's a lot of going through. So we have a specific person in charge of that. So he will do that for us. Mm-hmm. And now that we have everything set up, finally we can sign up a contract. If you can see, everything makes sense now. You know that the lot is yours. You know how your house is going to look like. You have all the plans. You have all the permits. You know how much you are going to pay for it. You mostly know everything about the house. Now I think you can feel confident to come with me, sign a contract based on those plans, and start building that. So signing the contract is what I consider to be the number 5. Once we have it ready, we jump to number 6. And as I said before, when ecological permit delivered, cleaning of the lot begins. That means we can cut up trees and bushes and get the lot ready to start. And as soon as we get the license, the building license delivered, construction begins.
Okay. So when they sign the contract with you or with any builder, is there like a chunk of money that's due then because you're gonna start all this work?
Let's save this question when I finish the number 7, because I think it's a super smart question that everyone will have.
Okay.
And I'll explain it. Just remind me not to skip it.
All right.
When license is delivered, construction begins. I wrote here 10 to 12 months. It depends as well on the square meterage, but it's mainly what it is going to take to build a house. To me, it takes a 200 square meter house 8 to 9 months, but I signed the contract for 12 months because I want to be in the safe side. Mm-hmm. So maybe I surprise you delivering the house before, but 12 months it's going to be like time, and it's the time that I will compromise to sign.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And finally, when we go through all of this, the building process finishes with a licensing that it's called terminación de obra, which is finishing of the construction. It's a license that we include within our price. So when the house is done, I deliver the house. You can go inside living in, and sometime after that, couple of months, we get the final licensings from the government telling you your house is it's been supervised, it's been revised, it has been through everything legally and necessary to live in it. But we have the authorization to start using it within the time we get the permit, or before we get the permit.
Before you get the terminación de obra.
Exactly.
And so maybe you're going to talk about this. Do they come inspect the home at the end to say this is safe to live in? Yeah,
my engineers, while I deliver you the plans for the structural and all the plans from the house, I have it's called Director Responsible of Building. I have to think of that because it's in Spanish. Director Responsable de Obra. He's, from my behalf, the guy who signs everything. And his building license number is on your plan. So he's responsible that the house is built within the limitations he authorized. So he's one of my team, and he will come and supervise the building many times during the process. I would say 10 to 15 times.
Is that the DRO?
That's the DRO.
Okay, I have heard that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the DRO, and he will come and inspect that I am doing what he was paid for. Supervise.
His name is on it.
His name and his license is on the papers. So it's better he's better to be in the safe side. On part of the government, which is municipio, they will come and do an inspection a couple of times during the building process, just to make sure that we are building what we declare, what we said we were building.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave asked a question and he said, just to be clear, steps 1 to 4 take about 6.5 months. Is that correct?
I have to do the math.
Purchase through the point that you get to signing the contract.
Yeah, exactly. And this can be less or it can be much more. It depends a lot, in my case, on how much the information go back and forth. For example, people living here that I can meet every third day, we can do the design very quick because I place it I listen to your ideas, I place it on the plans, I bring them to you, and it's super simple being here seated together. We can do the changes here. I just go to the computer or to my team and we do the changes. And that makes things faster, but this is the regular time that takes. So what I am talking about here, it's all average. So it's mostly what it is going to take.
And I think, I just want to say too, the purchase of the lot, we just threw that in because it typically takes like 45 to 60 days, sometimes longer, to purchase
actually
land. So that's not really part of your process. That's something the seller or the builder or the person wanting to build is going to do before they come to you, probably.
Exactly. That's why David was the one who made the question. Dave. Yeah, that's why I doubt a little bit, because it sounded like 6 months a lot to me. But usually people comes to me when they have their lot. And Kim can talk about better than I do. That's her business. And as you just said, 45 to 60 days. And that is not even part of the building process, but we put it in there because I want you to own the lot before.
Well, the other important thing I think to point out is you said you really should have the lot in your name, and that's important because in many of these new developments, the developer told people, oh, buy the lot and go ahead and build your house and never take title to the lot, which has turned into a huge nightmare. So I think you're right. I mean, the safest and best thing to do is make sure you've paid the money, even though it costs a little bit more. You go ahead and take title, and then you build your house so you know that you're building on land that you own, and it's going to save issues at the end.
Yeah,
because one thing we're not addressing here, maybe we'll talk about later, is how to, you bought land, but you have to show that you built a house on it, and how to show how much you spent on that. But we can get into that.
We'll talk about it. But yes, me as a Mexican, I have done it. I have purchased a lot and start building without the title under my name. And whatever news you get, like not straightforward, like for example, there is a mistake on a number on your title. It drives you crazy. Like, what are you saying? I am not the owner of the lot, so I don't want you to go through that when you can wait 1 month and a half, have it ready, have it well done since the beginning.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
That's fun.
Any other questions, you guys, so far? Well, I guess we're all the way through.
Yeah, if we...
They said, I had a question, sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Is it the entire process would take about 18 months?
Yeah, that's what I would say. The entire process, since the day you arrive here and start looking for a lot, 18 months sounds like about right to me. Yeah.
And then, this may be silly, but like, does the weather make a big difference in what, like if you start building in July, are you maybe gonna?
That's why I have 3 months,
okay.
2 to 3 months room under my contract, because I know where we live. When the weather strikes, it's not that much, but we can miss like 2 weeks in a building process. And I want my guys to be safe while building, so we don't hesitate canceling 1 day of construction if it is raining like too much or something.
And that is another question I had for you. So when they're signing a contract with you, I mean, I guess in the US you would be the contractor, like the primary contractor, and then do you subcontract out other things? And who's responsible for worker safety and all that kind of stuff?
Kim has the best question. Let's start
and
by
I never built anything. So,
Yeah, but let's start with the first question you made.
Okay.
What's the down payment when we
Okay,
sign the
right.
contract? And that one will take us to your question.
Okay.
And as well, in that meantime, we can get your questions if you have any, and we'll follow with those, I suggest. So,
Hi, Mercedes. Hi, Corky.
so I remember one of the questions that we got these few days since you published
Yes.
how do you call
The
it?
event.
The event.
Yeah.
It was how to pick a builder. Obviously, I am not the only one. There are other options out there. And my recommendation is just ask to previous customers of that builder. It's super simple. There are a bunch of builders in the area. To me, not all of them, or I could say not everyone, it's trustable.
Legitimate.
Yeah. So what's the best way to go? Honestly, when a deal sounds too good to be true, it's usually too good to
I
be
tell
true.
people that all the time about
Yeah.
just buying houses.
And that's what it is. When it is too cheap, something is wrong. So you will find out after a little of research that price matters. The good builders will be around, but that is not enough. So I will go definitely asking this customer. I am happy to provide my 11 customer phone numbers if they allow me for you to call them. And I think that's the way you can make sure who you are building with.
Right.
So if you are considering any other building, don't hesitate asking him. If they did well, they will provide one customer phone number.
Right.
And based on that question or that answer, I'm sorry, I'll talk about the down payment or how the payment process goes for a building. Within my contract, I deliver a calendar of payments versus building process. So in my case, what we do is 50% down payment during the signing of the contract, because with that money, I pay for 60% of the material that I'll be using during your construction process. And materials rise every month. So the agreement that I have with my provider is that I pay 60% of the material that I'll be using for a specific house, and he will keep the same price from the beginning to the end. That way, I can assure you the price I am setting up on my contract. So 50% while signing the contract, then another 3 payments, 20%, 20%, 10% final down payment. In our company, we don't charge, we do 15% profit. It maybe sounds strange to you that I am telling you this like right away or straight ahead. We do 50% profit out of the building project, and as you can see, I leave my payment to the end.
Wait,
I don't,
50 or 15?
15, 1-5.
Okay.
Yeah, 1-5.
Good business.
Good business.
I get into construction.
No, I wish. 15%. So we take our profit to the end. It's like a prize for us. It's like we behaved well, we did everything well. So every penny that you pay for your house, you will be able to see it in your house until we deliver. And that comes together with calendar versus building process.
So you have deliverables within your calendar, like when we complete this, you owe some more money.
That's it. You pay 50% now until you see 2 stories of your house built on blocks. When you see that, I am able to ask you for the next payment, 20%. That 20% will be used for doing the finishes on every wall. When you see your house on finishes, I will be able to ask for the other 20%. I'll deliver your house, you deliver the 10+%, and that's it. I can play with that numbers anytime. If you don't feel comfortable with that 50%, we can always take, let's say, 25%, but you will be quicker. And you will be like, I will have to tell you, okay, if you are paying the 25%, this is the risk we run of having a raised on materials and increased on materials. But I don't need all of your money. We don't need the 50%, but it's all about that
Maximizing what you can buy with the money.
it is the best way to do it to get the lowest price
Okay.
or the most convenience price for your house.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so then, so you have a payment schedule, blah, 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 and so I guess we're up to the question of, are you subcontracting out to plumbers and electricians and like, you're responsible for that, or how does that work?
Okay, this is one question that our company is made of me and my coworker, who is my best friend since ever. So far, since ever, and my two right hands that we love our team. They are two architects that we all work together, and my best friend and my coworker is the one who manages all of this. So I am sorry if I am not that specific on this answer. These are mostly his words, but the way of seeing it is you are hiring us for what we know. It's our knowledge what you are paying for, because honestly the way you are going to yeah, the way you are going to spend the money and you are going to manage the people and the contractors, it's going to be a lot. It's a lot to carry on if you don't have the previous experience of building here. So we have two types of contracts. In both of them, you are paying for our knowledge.
Right.
And one way of contract is hiring us. We sign a contract with you saying that we are the only ones in charge of the house. You are only signing a contract. That's all you are doing. But because of that, and Kim can tell us about that, we have to pay 16% taxes above everything. And it's not my taxes. I pay separate my taxes. These are taxes that has to be charged to the owner. So honestly, it's a contract that is 16% expensive to you. The other way of contract is that you hire us to give you our expertise and our advice on how to build a house. But you will be the one signing the contract with the providers.
Oh.
Both ways are legal. It's the only way I work. I don't work any other way. Both ways are legal. The only difference is that on the first case scenario, I will be providing you one factura for the total amount of your house. And the other way,
Let's stop and say what a factura is.
oh, sorry,
So factura is important to know if you're gonna build. A factura is the tax receipt that's issued to your tax ID number, and it's important for you because for reasons that are like many varied reasons, but mostly because when you sell it, you need to show that you have some basis in your property, and this is how you're gonna do it. You're gonna show how much you paid to build it, and this is the only way to show it with a tax receipt called a factura. Okay.
Exactly, and just to clarify on that, the 16% that you are paying, it's called IVA in Mexico.
Right.
And the taxes that I am paying, it's ISR, it's different tax. So that is a tax that you have to pay if you want me to provide a full factura of the total amount of the contract. And in the other way, we take you through the process, contracting every subcontractor that I will be using the same contractors, the same people, the same team.
And you're gonna find them.
I already have it.
But the person building is going to sign each contract.
Exactly.
Oh.
So if you decide going the other way, you save that 16%. It's legal as well because you're signing contracts with them, which is 3 more contracts. It's not that much. And you get facturas from them instead of me. So that is when it comes to make sense that you are paying for the knowledge, because either way you decide to work with a full contract or subcontractors. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Or subcontractors, the only difference is the way you are going to be provided a factura.
And that you're gonna sign a few contracts.
And that you are going to sign a few contracts with other providers, which I'll use them anyway.
So Megan had a question. If you are not Mexican, does that change how payments are made? especially if the money is coming from another country?
Let me think on that. If you are not Mexican and the money is coming from outside, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I haven't. Let me think about it. Yes, I haven't received money from outside. All of my customers so far have their accounts here. How has it worked with the people that we have sell houses? Because the money is coming
Well,
from
that's
outside.
different, yeah, because it goes to the escrow account and then it's distributed here in Mexico or wherever the seller, when it comes to you.
Yeah, I should say there is no problem because as far as my research has gone, we have received payments from the US, and actually Megan is going to be like I believe the first one, and we are ready because we already have a dollar account in Mexico,
Right.
so we can get money from outside. But I want to make sure before answering this question that it's the right question. But I don't think there should be any.
Right, it shouldn't cost more or
No,
make you pay more upfront.
it will cost me more, my company, because I am adding up a different account to my actual account, which is being able to receive US dollars. But I mean, it's nothing to do with the customer. So I don't think there should be an increment on that way of payment.
So I am coming to your favorite question. Janine asks, what is the average building cost per square meter from the home after the steps already outlined?
Okay, it is actually my favorite question because
there is no answer.
Yeah, there is no answer, honestly. I mean, there is an answer. There is no straightforward answer. This is what it is. The average cost per square meter, again, meter, in the area, worth it. What do I mean by worth it? You want to invest the right amount of money into the square meter, because if you go crazy expensive or crazy finishes, luxury, where it doesn't belong,
You can't sell it.
you won't be able to sell it later. It's not that you are building for sale, but you want to make sure that where you are investing or putting your money, it's going to be worth it later. So the price range is between 14,000 Mexican pesos and 17,000 Mexican pesos. You can reach 17, 18,000 Mexican pesos, but that's the average. In my personal experience, with all of the customers that we have worked, we have ended up in the middle range. 14,500, 15,500, that's the middle range that I believe is worth it in the area. There are builders below 13,000 and down to 10,000. Sorry, I don't like to play that game. I don't feel comfortable in that range because you have to lower quality, and then a lot of fixings and rebuildings happens.
Right.
And I don't like. I honestly don't like that product. I prefer building once. Once something can fail, we will come back and fix it. There is 1 year guarantee for building in Mexico. It's law, and we comply with the law. But I don't feel comfortable below 14,000. And then above that, again, it's luxury, and you have to be very careful where you are going to build it. There are areas that you can build it, but you have to be careful. Below 10,000, guys, I'm being honest here, don't do it. Something could be wrong. Something on quality matters, on legality, on taxes matters. So be very careful. Below 10,000 is not too real to me.
Okay. And so, I think this is related. So, does the person building the house have any liability if somebody's hurt on the job site, or someone doesn't get paid? Like, how is that all taken care of?
You mean for the
Like
worker?
a worker.
No. We, at least us, we provide proof. Yeah, it's a proof from the Social Security that everyone during the construction process was on their security number. So we have everyone insurance under the Mexican laws, and beyond that, and that's something personal, we take our workers to our personal hospitals if something happens to them.
Okay.
So, but anyway, and a legal proof that they are insured during the whole process of the building.
And so they're technically your employees, they're not employees of the
They are,
building the house?
yeah, they are all the time my employees. I am the only one responsible. The difference between every contract is that I insure, well, in both cases, we insure the guys through a company. That's the way it should be done. The only difference is that I am hiring that company in the first case of the contract, and in the other one, you are hiring that company to insure them. But the only responsible is that company. And yeah, 11 houses with them, and I have been everywhere and super happy, super good service. They are insurance, etc.
Okay.
And that's something I recommend you to look after if you are building with someone else. Make sure their employees have social security. To me, as a Mexican, is super important.
Yeah.
Because you could skip it. You could skip it on the 10,000 and less Mexican pesos per.
Is that not part of what they look at for the terminación de obra? Do they I thought that had something to do with making sure the workers had all been paid.
Yeah, very difficult topic because I don't like talking that way about Mexico, but in Mexico you can find the wrong way. And I never step into that, but it can.
Oh, so they can issue the terminación de obra and then still there might be.
Yeah,
okay, sorry.
It's
all new to me. I don't.
No, it's okay. It's a difficult topic to talk about, but I like saying it because if you are not building with me, if you are building with me, ask me for that proof. Ask someone else for that proof. Make sure they are insurance.
Okay.
That's the way I feel because as a Mexican, I like to take care of Mexicans. You know, they are working for us. They are doing great thing for us.
Yeah.
The least thing we can do is pay them that way. So I don't like them not to be
paid and protected.
Yeah.
So it's safe.
You were saying something?
No, I'm thinking about that. Like, there's any kind of penalty if you build without permits. Just walking through that kind of.
Yeah, we have to be very careful with this. If you don't follow this process.
I just wanted you to repeat the question.
Repeat the question, like what, there's any penalty if you build without permits?
Is there a penalty? Gabriel's asking if there's any penalty for building without permits, or I guess different from what you said you were gonna build.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you don't follow this in this order, but make sure you comply with all of these before building. There is a penalty for example, not delivering the right architectural plans. There could be a fine if there is no executive project. Or you could skip something like the mechanic of soils, then build a beautiful house, 3 stories, super nice house on top of a cenote, and you cannot live on it because it's not safe. And nobody will know, not even the government. The government doesn't ask for this. And you will never know that you are living on top of a cenote. So yeah, when you consider building with someone else, again, with me, with someone else, with whoever, make sure to follow as close as you can.
Okay.
Yeah, these alignments.
So no one else is coming out. You're responsible for determining if your lot is safe to build a particular structure on.
I will say your builder. I would
yeah.
make responsible my builder.
And so when they do like ground studies here, I'm curious. Like how do you find out what's underneath there? Are you doing holes? Yeah.
Actually, that machine.
The guy across the street brought a giant machine in today. You guys will laugh because we're doing the construction project and it's for the foundation, no? Huge. And we were like, oh God, they're going to start the machine right when we're having our Facebook Live. But they're still setting it up.
Yeah.
But that's a testing machine?
Yeah, actually, that is not the testing machine. That is the actual machine to drilling holes underground and doing their foundations. But it's pretty much like that. It's a big machine with a big drill. We drill through 5 to 10 meters underneath to make sure what's in there. They take out samples, they put it in a laboratory and see what's and that's what we do in our company when we are building. we have structural plans where the main beams and foundations are going to be in your house. We put them on the ground. We do on your actual lot the exact points where the main beams are going to be. Drill, pull out the sample, check it out, and see if it's hard enough to build on.
Oh, so when you're looking at a lot to buy, you haven't bought it yet, is it a good idea to try to get someone in to test it if they'll let you?
Yeah, it's a good idea if they let you, but remember you don't have the plans yet, so you don't know where to drill.
Test? Okay.
You could test, and it will give you a very good idea of what's underneath, and 80% of the soils in this area are going to be safe. But you don't want to be in that 20% and not test it. It happened to us, to a customer of us, Donna, and super beloved Donna and Gary customers, and their pool, it's right on top of a big cavern. And when we brought that in, it was a surprise to all of us, but thankfully that we did this process, we knew that increment to the contract before we started building.
So then you just built something to support the pool? Okay.
It's different foundation, you have to add it up to your contract, and that way your contractor or your builder doesn't have to run away because it's not enough money to build up, you know? So it's, as you can see with every question, we kind of understand what it is important to follow, the order.
Are there any other questions? I don't know if we answered the questions that were submitted. I wanted to check that.
I don't want Kim to remember more questions, guys. You asked something.
Let's see. We did have some.
What happened if you have all the permissions, suddenly for any reason you do not start building on time? Because there's, my understanding there's like a period of time to start building.
Okay, Gabriel asked.
When they're already.
Gabriel asks what happens if you already have all of the permits and for any reason you don't start building at that point. They have frame time to use the permits, and if you do not finish or don't even start, you have renewal. You have to renew it.
Oh.
It's an extra payment.
So how long? It's like how many days?
They are issuing building permits for 6 months to 12 months.
Oh.
I always pay for the 12 months.
Oh,
Only
you pay for that.
Yeah,
You get longer time.
It has different price.
Okay.
But you have to pay for the 12 one unless it's a very small house, then you can do it in 6 months, but I haven't done any.
Right.
Yet.
So Dave did ask this one. I think it was Dave that submitted it. He said, is it advisable to work with an independent architect or use a builder recommended architect? In your team, it's already included in your package, but would you hire someone else to come in and look?
I would hire anyone that is well recommended and has been building in the area for some time.
So you think it, well, I think you answered the question, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there are big companies, but honestly, like the biggest companies are building hotels and huge things. The regular builder in the area is going to be like a more personal builder. The team is not going to be bigger than four guys or something. And so far, I only know one builder being himself and no one else. So the right answer is do a little bit of research, ask his previous customers, make sure they are real customers, and that's the best way to go. To me, looking at his houses, it's definitely another good advice. Go and look what else he has built. That's something you can base a decision.
And the other big question is, what if you can't be here during the building process?
No problem at all. I think that the homework you have to do is what we have talked about here. Choose the right builder. Once you do that, everything should flow easily. In our case, for example, we have built 3 houses with the owners aboard, and they just came, actually one of them came 3 months after the house was done. The house was ready.
What?
Yeah, because it happened what I said before. I signed the contract for, that contract was 14 months, and we finished the house at the 12th month. And the house was ready. We tell them the house is ready. Sorry, we don't have plans to go before. We'll see you in 2 months. The house was ready. 2 months after that, they were here. So yeah, you don't have to. Now the technology, it's amazing. We can send pictures every week if you wish. Actually, I was thinking something like days ago. Someone building that cannot be here can even set up cameras in the
Well,
side.
that's what Lori, I think we have gotten off the call, but they built a big house over by my paradise, and they had webcams set up around.
Yeah,
And that was before, I mean, I'm sure the technology is much better now. This was like 5 or 6 years ago. But yeah, I think they were watching the progress every day.
I never thought of it. I with my customers that are not around or doesn't live around, I'll send pictures all the time. WhatsApp, many pictures every time we do something. But I was thinking on that yesterday. I would even feel comfortable and happy to know that they are looking at us. They are looking at people working.
Well, I think it's kind of exciting because you don't get to be part of it if you're away, and it's like, it's a cool thing.
It is. It is definitely the idea of this talk to me. It's like giving you the feeling that it is accomplishable and you can enjoy it a lot if you follow simple right steps.
Common sense.
Common sense, and it can be a super nice experience building, or it can be a not that good experience. So just do the right choices at the beginning. Try to follow a little bit of this, and you will be having a pleasant experience and building what you really want. I thinking, yeah.
So just in terms of, I mean, do you feel like the gated communities are good places to build now?
They are. I lived there since 4 years ago. I actually live in one of the communities that we built. And yeah, I mean, no complaints to me. It's safe. Actually, this area in Mexico is super safe, you know that. Living within a gated community, it's even safer. You know, my bikes are there, I don't tie them up, my car is left open. So I live very happy in there, it's quiet. Normally the process and all the legal stuff, it's super straightforward, easy to follow.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's very good opportunity.
Okay.
Plenty of lots, you know that.
Yeah.
Still for sale.
Yeah, there's a lot of lots for resale, and then there's some new communities that are just now doing sales. All right, you guys, are there any other questions? Is anyone still there? Is there a sign of life?
Again, where do we see 14
Yeah.
guests watching? Perfect.
Anyone
Yeah, sorry, maybe just talking,
chit-chatting?
but I think we covered most of the.
I think we covered all the questions that were submitted.
Just at the end of the process, you got all the paperwork, the plans and whatever, so you deliver everything like as package to the new owner?
Yeah.
Or this thing, sorry, just to complete, to make the whole question is, that information goes somewhere in a governmental office or something like that?
Okay, Gabriel is asking what do we deliver when the house is finished? And it's a full package of legal documents that, in order for me to give them to you, to deliver them, they have a full process of research on the government. And when you cannot buy a house or have the terminación de obra, if all of that is not done the right way. And with that package, it's terminación de obra is where my work finishes. You have everything legal, so you can buy or you can live in the property, and then you just take one of those papers, which is catastro, cédula catastral is the name. You take it to the government and tell them that you build in there. And that one, along with the terminación de obra, they do a renewal of the cédula catastral, just stating that the lot is not anymore a lot, but a house. And
So it legally exists in the tax database.
that's it. And the tax you pay, amazingly, it's the same one as when it was a lot. I did my house.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So somebody had asked Cal, I don't know if Cal's here. He says, I'm interested in cost per meter for building a 2 to 3 story with rooftop deck. And I think we covered that, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's covered by saying that the range will be between 14,000, 17, and that's what I mean with the range. For example, he's talking about a 2-story house.
He said 2 to 3 story with a rooftop deck, normal to high-end finishes, so I think you covered that.
And for example, the roof deck, not everyone wants it. And it's something that I super like in this area, but that is something I cannot consider with